Hello and welcome to How to Deal with Grief and Trauma. My name is Natalie Himmelrich. How to Deal with Grief and Trauma is completely self-funded, produced and edited by me, Natalie Himmelrich. Consider making a small donation to support the podcast. Go to bit.ly/support, capital G, capital T, and podcast. I repeat, bit.ly/supportgt podcast. Thank you so much. And for more information, please visit Natalie's website, join the podcast Instagram page, and subscribe to the newsletter to receive updates on future episodes. Welcome to the special series on the many faces of trauma. In each episode, we'll explore one trauma type in a clear, gentle way, what it is, how it can show up in daily life, and one small step that can help your nervous system feel a little safer. Nothing here is meant to diagnose you, and you're always invited to take what fits and leave the rest. And because this is trauma work, we'll end every episode with a short grounding practice you can do anywhere. Today we're closing the series with a body lens, how trauma can affect the body, and why physical symptoms can be meaningful signals rather than proof that something is wrong with you. This is general and non-graphic, and as always, you can pause anytime. Why the body lens matters. Many people try to heal trauma by thinking their way out of it. But trauma isn't a story in the mind. Trauma is also in the physiology, in the sensations, in the reflexes, in the breath and heart rate, in sleep, in digestion, in muscle tension, in immune and hormonal stress responses. This is why someone can say, I know I'm safe, and still have a body that reacts as if danger is near. A helpful reframe is, the body learns through experience, and it learns danger and safety through repeated cues. What it means when we say the body keeps the score. So the body keeps the score is a title of a book by Bessel van der Kolk, but you might have heard the phrase elsewhere because it's used quite widely. But in plain language, it means the nervous system remembers patterns, the body responds to cues, stress hormones or stress responses can outlast the original event, and symptoms can become the body's way of asking for safety and regulation. This doesn't mean every symptom is trauma, and it doesn't mean trauma is all in your head. It means trauma can shape your baseline arousal, your sensitivity to triggers, and the way your body organizes itself around protection. Imagine someone who has done a lot of inner work. They understand their history, they can explain their triggers, but their body still tells the truth in another way, or in other ways. They clench their jaw without noticing, their stomach flips before meetings, their shoulders never fully drop, they wake up tired, and loud sounds make them jump. They start to wonder, why am I not over this? And the answer isn't they failed. It's that their nervous system learned protection over time, and the body needs repeated experiences of safety to update. Let's have a look again at how trauma can show up in the body. Here are common body pathways in everyday language. Again, first in the hyperaroused state, that's called mobilized protection. In the sympathetic state, you might experience things as racing heart, tight chest, shallow breathing, muscle tension or clenching, restlessness or agitation, an increased startle response, difficulty sleeping or staying asleep. If you're more in the hypoarousal state, or the shutdown protection or dorsal vagal state, you might experience numbness or heaviness, have low energy or feel like you're collapsed. You might experience foggy thinking or have a feeling of I can't move, or feel disconnected from hunger or fullness cues. Stress physiology over time can lead to headaches, migraines, digestive issues, nausea, fatigue that doesn't resolve, changes in appetite, pain sensitivity, skin flare-ups, or immune stress patterns. Again, these can have many causes. Trauma is just one possible contributor. And then the last one is dissociation and body disconnection. You might actually feel detached from the body or not noticing needs until they're intense, or have difficulty sensing boundaries. And then another one, which I can relate a lot to, is pain with meaning. So somehow the body holds tension in places that relate to protection. For example, your jaw is responsible or is reflective, holding backwards. Then shoulders have the meaning of carrying a lot. Then in the belly, that is sort of the gut threat detection center. And in the chest, that is responsible or that is related to grief, fear, and vigilance. Again, we're not diagnosing, we're mapping patterns that many people recognize. Now let's look through the polyvagal lens, because state drive symptoms. Let me explain that. A polyvagal-informed way to simplify is this. Your state, so whether you are in fight or flight, whether you're in dorsal, sort of shutdown, or whether you're regulated, shapes your sensations. So I say it again, your state shapes your sensations. So when your nervous system is in safety and connection, digestion works better, breathing is fuller, muscles soften, and you can feel and think more clearly. When your nervous system, however, is in protection, the body prioritizes survival over digestion, rest, and connection, and symptoms can rise even without conscious fear. So one question you can ask yourself is, what state am I in right now? Activation, shutdown, or connected? That single question often brings more clarity than what's wrong with me. A couple of body-based repair solutions or suggestions without overwhelming the system. So let's have a look at some of those supportive directions that fit after many trauma types. The first one is small repeated regulation, which beats intense interventions, because your body learns through repetition. Tiny practices done often can be more powerful than one big practice rarely. The second one, work with your body's language. Instead of pushing symptoms away, ask, what is my body trying to protect me from? What does it need right now? And not in a mystical way, just in a practical way. The third one is to complete stress energy. Gentle movement can help. For example, walking, stretching, shaking out hands, or light rhythmic motion. Number 4, co-regulation is medicine. Safe humans matter. Their way of speaking, so their tone, their presence, their eye contact, if it feels safe, their kind voice, their predictable support really helps to co-regulate your nervous system. And the 5th one is track even 5% shifts. So look for small changes, for example, one deeper exhale, your shoulders dropping slightly, or your feet feeling heavier on the floor, because these are signs of nervous system flexibility returning. Even just sighing or yawning is a way that your nervous system says, I'm regulating here. And 6, get support when needed. If symptoms are persistent or intense, trauma-informed support can help. For example, somatic therapy, EMDR, parts-informed approaches, body-based trauma work. If you want to start on your own, I would recommend Healing Steps, one of my self-paced courses that you can find on the website or linked in the show notes. Our grounding practice for today is called Breath, Stretch, Name. So this is a very short, accessible practice that supports many bodies. Step 1, breath. Inhale normally and exhale a little longer than the inhale. Not forcing, do it in your own pace and do it 4 times. So stop the episode and do that in your own time and then come back. Step 2, stretch. Reach your arms up and forward, a gentle stretch. Then release and roll your shoulders once or twice. And if you need more time and want to do it again, stop the episode and then come back. Step 3. Name 3 body facts. For example, say quietly to yourself, my feet are on the floor. My hands are here. My breath is moving. Connection to the body and orienting helps to regulate your nervous system. And then step 4, one supportive phrase. For example, my body has reasons. I can listen without panic. As we close this mini-series, I want to leave you with something simple and supportive. If you recognize yourself in any of these episodes, it does not mean you're broken. It means your nervous system adapted. The patterns you carry, hypervigilance, shutdown, people-pleasing, numbness, tightness in the body, they are often the evidence of survival, not failure. And if you didn't recognize yourself, I hope the series still gave you language to understand someone you love, support, or work with. Because trauma can be invisible, and compassion becomes much easier when we understand the nervous system. You don't have to do this perfectly. Healing is rarely a straight line. It's a returning again and again to small moments of safety, agency, and connection. So here's a gentle invitation. Choose one episode that spoke to you the most. Choose one practice you can repeat for a week and notice the smallest signs of shift. Because awareness is not the end goal. Awareness is the beginning of choice. And you deserve choice. If you'd like to respond to this episode or to the series, please send us a text. There's a link in the show notes, and I always love to hear from you. If you'd like support as you continue, check out my website for the free resources offered for both those affected by grief, loss, trauma, and those supporting them. There are also free courses, ideally for starters or more advanced, and you can choose whatever you want to start with. Thank you for being here for this series and for the courage it can take to listen. And remember, I'm here for you. Thanks for listening to How to Deal with Grief and Trauma. If you'd like to be updated on future episodes, please subscribe to my newsletter on nataliehimmelrich.com. If you need grief support, please contact me for a 30 minutes free discovery session. How to Deal with Grief and Trauma is produced and edited by me, Natalie Himmelrich. To support this podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe to or follow the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you. And remember to keep breathing. I promise it will get easier.